Elon Musk is already famous for disrupting the car industry and spearheading the movement to colonize Mars. But he recently made a startling announcement that sent shockwaves through the business world. Today, we're learning about Elon Musk's attempt to mine a golden asteroid worth $700 quintillion. Elon Musk seems to take pleasure in accomplishing tasks once deemed impossible. He was recently alerted to an asteroid with an extremely high concentration of precious metals. He hopes to send a probe to explore the asteroid for potential mining by 2022. And based on the volume of gold, silver, and copper, experts have valued the asteroid at a staggering $700 quintillion. It's difficult to imagine $1 billion, let alone a quintillion. So to put it into perspective, if this money was evenly distributed among every person on Earth, each person would receive $93 billion. Of course, realistically, this would never happen. The current price of gold is based on its perceived rarity, which drives demand. But if the market was flooded with an overabundance of gold, it would become virtually worthless. Gold still has certain practical uses, like in electronics, but it would certainly not be the same valuable metal we know today. Even without this golden asteroid, Elon Musk recently surpassed Bill Gates to become the second richest man in the world. His personal wealth ballooned as shares of his electric automaker hit a record high, boosting his net worth to $127.9 billion. Musk's fortunes are directly linked to those of Tesla. His biggest asset is the company's stock, of which he last owned about 20% according to Bloomberg. This year has been very good for the entrepreneur. So far in 2020, Tesla's stock has shot up almost 524%, helping Musk add more than an estimated $100 billion to his wealth. That's more than anyone on Bloomberg's global rich list, the outlet reported. But what would happen to Musk's net worth if he managed to mine this one-of-a-kind asteroid? Some people conjecture that if he controlled the majority of the gold supply, he could use a similar system to the diamond industry. The fact is that due to the discovery of several new diamond deposits in the last 100 years, diamonds are not especially rare. After the discovery of the Kimberley deposit in South Africa, the scarcity of diamonds has been much less pronounced. But the De Beers company that operated the mine was clever. Rather than flooding the market with diamonds to lower the price, they hoarded the stock and released them into the market in bursts to maintain the illusion of rarity. Of course, diamonds are truly rare compared to most semi-precious stones, but there are far more diamonds than most industry professionals will admit. So if Musk were to release gold sporadically in order to raise or lower the value, he could continue to keep prices high and accrue wealth over a long period of time. People also make parallels to the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC, which seeks to determine the price of oil by limiting or increasing the flow of oil into the market. Regardless, even if the price of gold decreased significantly and Musk could unilaterally claim the mineral rights to the asteroid, he would easily become the wealthiest person on the planet. He could use this capital to supercharge his many businesses. For instance, he would have virtually unlimited capital to expand Tesla, which is an extremely visible brand, but which actually produces relatively few cars. It has a valuation of well over $500 billion, but only produced 365,300 vehicles in 2019. Compare this to Toyota, which has a market cap of just under $200 billion and produced over 10 million cars in 2019. SpaceX could use the injection of capital to fast-track their Mars program and get a permanent population thriving in fewer years than anyone expected. Musk's company Neuralink could hire more researchers, and his company Starlink could send satellites into space at an even more rapid pace. The Winklevoss twins, made famous for their role in the formation of Facebook and its accompanying biopic The Social Network, weighed in on the issue. The twins, who are huge supporters of cryptocurrency, had this to say: "There's billions of dollars of gold floating in asteroids around this planet, and Elon is going to get up there and start mining gold. That's why gold is a problem, because the supply isn't fixed like Bitcoin." The asteroid in question is called 16 Psyche. 16 Psyche is one of the most massive objects in the asteroid belt orbiting between Mars and Jupiter. It measures 140 miles across, and in previous observations, it has been shown as a dense metallic core containing untold riches. Apparently, Musk is considering a partnership with NASA in order to mine this asteroid, which is composed mostly of nickel and silver, both of which are precious metals with a utility in many electronics. But this is definitely a long-term project. The asteroid is more than 230 million miles from Earth. The Psyche mission will journey to a unique metal-rich asteroid, also named Psyche, which orbits the Sun between Mars and Jupiter, NASA said in a statement. They have increased their cooperation with private firms like SpaceX in recent years because of decreased federal funding. We've seen meteorites that are mostly metal, but Psyche could be unique in that it might be an asteroid that is totally made of iron and nickel, a NASA employee said. Earth has a metal core, a mantle, and crust. It's possible that as a Psyche protoplanet was forming, it was struck by another object in our solar system and lost its mantle and crust. And though the prospect of mining on Psyche is new, the asteroid was discovered many years ago. Arizona State University researchers say that 16 Psyche was found in 1852 by Italian astronomer Annibale de Gasparis, who named it after the ancient Greek goddess of the soul. The asteroid is most likely a survivor of violent hit-and-run collisions, common when the solar system was forming. Because we cannot see or measure Earth's core directly, Psyche offers a unique window into the violent history of collisions and accretion that created the terrestrial planets. Musk hopes to launch an uncrewed mission to Psyche in 2022, which would reach the asteroid by around 2026. And of course, it all goes back to Tesla. In 2019, Musk stated that he saw global shortages of nickel, copper, and other electric vehicle battery minerals down the road due to underinvestment in the mining sector. This came from first-hand experience trying to supply his vehicles with high-quality metal batteries. The battery represents at least a third of the cost of an electric car, and raw materials are responsible for the bulk of the cost of the battery. So, lowering the cost of these metals would mean a huge boost to profits for Tesla. The copper industry in particular has suffered from years of underinvestment, and it's now working feverishly to develop new mines and bring fresh supply online as the electrification trend envelops the global economy. Electric cars use twice as much copper as internal combustion engines. So-called smart home systems, such as Alphabet Inc.'s Nest thermostat and Amazon.com Inc.'s Alexa personal assistant, will consume about 1.5 million tons of copper by 2030, up from 38,000 tons today, according to data from consultancy BSRIA. This will increase the value of precious metals and make them highly sought after. This news comes after Elon Musk has hinted about pursuing mining for years. Back in 2019, Musk speculated that he would do well in the industry. He stated, "As we scale battery productions to very high levels, we actually have to look further down the supply chain. We might get into the mining business, maybe, a little bit at least. We will do whatever we have to do in order to ensure we scale at the fastest rate possible." It's extremely likely that the next space race will be driven by business and private companies. As companies funded by the biggest names in business, like Musk's SpaceX or Jeff Bezos's Blue Origin, race to colonize Mars, the process of claiming territory in space has never been more rapid, and traditional mining companies are joining the fray as well. Two space mining companies, backed by big-name investors, are gearing up for a gold rush after asteroid ownership was made legal in 2015. Deep Space Industries and Planetary Resources each have their eyes on the 2011 UW158 asteroid, which is twice the size of the Tower of London and worth up to $10 trillion. It seems as though Psyche is just the first of many celestial bodies to garner the interest of business leaders around the world. And this is not the only asteroid that Musk has mentioned recently. He tried to warn that a massive asteroid could strike the Earth and wipe out huge swaths of the population if it weren't prepared. After a conversation on Joe Rogan's popular podcast, he tweeted that a big rock will hit Earth eventually and we currently have no defense. NASA seems to contradict this information, however. They stated on their website that no known asteroid poses a significant risk of impact with Earth over the next 100 years. Lindley Johnson of NASA's Planetary Defense Coordination Office reiterated that stance in a statement. While no known asteroid larger than 140 meters in size has a significant chance of hitting Earth for the next 100 years, NASA and its partners are studying several different methodologies for deflecting a hazardous asteroid, he said. Essentially, NASA is currently monitoring space and doesn't foresee an asteroid strike anytime soon. They do plan to have defenses in place for when it finally does. NASA has also designated a department that finds undetected asteroids and tracks their orbits, so they have data on where exactly an asteroid will be up to 100 years in the future. Even if an undetected asteroid slipped through, the incidence is extremely rare, occurring only once every 2 or 3 centuries. But Elon Musk likes to think far into the future, and apparently he sees asteroids as both a great risk and a lucrative source of profit.